Hi, it's Ingrid. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a video I've seen go around a lot now on BookTube, and that is showing you every single book on my physical TBR. First, I just have to point out, if you can see a difference here, redid a little part of my room, took away my desk, put in another bookshelf, got a chair. Very excited to fill up that bookshelf, but that's happening later. But I like this corner. I've been sitting there a lot and I'm just obsessed with it. But now, onto my physical TBR. I have in total 143 books on my physical TBR. 56 of them are currently on my shelf, while 87 is on my book cart. I'll show you both of them in a second. Right now, a little stack of books that are usually on my book cart is on my bookshelf because I've made a little section for my monthly TBR. So usually those are over here, but I just put them there so I can so I can find them easier. But I'll still show them with the book cart, I think, because that just makes it easier with the different series and genres and all of that. So let's just not wait any longer. I think we should just get into it. I think I'm going to start with the books on my shelf and then we're gonna move on to my book cart. Yeah, let's do that. So they're not gonna be split into genres because I have both romance and fantasy on my shelf and on my book cart. So let's start with my shelf. I'm gonna go with the books. So I'm going to start with the fantasy books on my bookshelf. First, I have the entire Akatar series. Still haven't read it. Ignore this one. It's bigger, I know, but it was like 1/3 of the price, so I bought it before I even bought the rest of the series, so I didn't know. I have all the books in the series. This is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I have A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames. I'm very excited to read this. I don't know exactly what it's about. I have like an idea because I've seen people talk about it, but I usually skip over it because I don't want spoilers. I'm planning on doing a reading vlog on this in September or October, so hopefully I'll get to that. I don't have anything else to say about these, so I'm gonna move on. Then I have the Shatter Me series. I have read the first book and the first novella, so I'm very excited to get to the rest of the series. Again, this is something I want to film a reading vlog on, so I think I'm going to be able to do it this year, but I'm not completely sure. This is Shatter Me, Unite Me, which is 2 novellas. They're Destroy Me and Fracture Me. Unravel Me, Ignite Me, Restore Me, Find Me. Again, I think there's 2 novellas in there. I don't remember exactly what they're called. Defy Me and Imagine Me. This is about Juliet, who I actually have no idea how to explain it, so I'm gonna wait until the reading vlog and I'll say more after I've actually finished the series. Next up, I have a whole shelf on my bookshelf dedicated to Leigh Bardugo, because if you know me, you would know she's my favorite author. So here I have Rule of Wolves, the last book in the Grishaverse of like the normal books. This is following Nikolai. I haven't read it, so I don't know exactly what's happening, but I know it's Nikolai's book. Then I have The Language of Thorns, Midnight Tales and Dangerous Magic. So this is stories from like each of the countries in the Grishaverse. I don't know, I haven't read it, so but it's very pretty and I'm very excited to get to it. And then my last Leigh Bardugo book, Ninth House. I actually have no idea what this is about because this is not in the Grishaverse, obviously. This is about a student at Yale, a dropout and the sole survivor of a horrific unsolved crime. Oh. This looks very interesting, so I'm gonna read that soon. I'm actually very interested in this. I didn't know it was that. I don't know. I'm just gonna move on. I don't know if I should tell you what they're about, because honestly I don't know what they're about, so it's kind of hard to say when I haven't read them, and I haven't really looked into what they're about either. sometimes I buy it because of the author, other times because someone's recommended it and I don't really know what they're about. We're gonna try them out anyways. But I have Blood of Elves, the first novel in the Witcher series. I have already read The Last Wish and Sword of Destiny, which is collections of short stories, so I'm very excited to get to like whole stories in one book with like a whole story. It's going to be fun, and I love The Witcher, so I'm excited to read it. That's all of the fantasy books on my bookshelf. Now let's move on to everything else. There's like romance, kind of historical romance, and some just fiction, YA fiction. I don't really know how to classify it. I have one classic as well, so I'm just gonna get to that now. Next up I have the Magnolia Park series. Here I have the last 3 books. Daisy Hates Magnolia Park's A Long Way Home, and Daisy Hates The Great Undoing. The first Magnolia Parks book isn't here because I'm reading it, so it's on my nightstand, so it doesn't count as a physical TBR. Oh, that's very obvious, but I started reading it, so whatever. These books are about like the English elite, I guess. There's like rich people, famous people. I don't know about the whole series, but I know Magnolia Park is like famous and she's rich and she's, I want to say she's an influencer. Like she gives off that vibe, just more intense. I guess like everyone knows who Magnolia is and her relationship with BJ and all of that, so that's a very bad explanation. It's a very toxic story. I don't know if I can count that as a romance because there's a lot going on, but it's very interesting, and the way it's written is very different from everything else, and I love that. So that's all I have to say about it because I don't really know. Next up, 2 books by Alice Oseman. Loveless and I Was Born for This. They're like YA fiction. I really like her books. These are the only ones I haven't read, so that's happening soon. They're very easy to read, and it's not your typical romance books, even though most of them have romance in them. I have no idea what these 2 are about. All of her books really have some kind of sexuality involved in it. So it's very diverse in the way of sexuality. It's not just the ones you usually see in media. But it's like everyone is involved in some way. And I personally think it's very good. What's the word? I can't think of the word, but I'll put it on the screen if I can think of it. I like her books a lot. We're entering the world of controversial books. My Colleen Hoover collection that I haven't read. I bought this a long time ago. I'm going to read them eventually. I'm not really in that coho mood anymore. So I'm going to read them because I paid for them. I have Without Merit, Slammed, Verity, Never Never, Hopeless, and It Starts With Us. The only one that I actually have any interest in reading is Never Never. I don't remember why, because I can't remember what it's about, but I've picked it up in the store a few times, and every time I'm like, wow, this is something I want to read, but then I always forget. And I can't remember what it's about, but I know that as soon as I read the back of it, I'm going to be interested. So I don't know if I'm going to get to these this year or not. It's like I don't feel the same need to read a coho book like I used to. So we'll see. Then I have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Another controversial opinion here. I don't like her writing that much. I haven't read a single book of hers that I actually really liked. I rated The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo kind of high, I think, because I was scared of being different. I didn't really like it. But I'm still excited to read this. I feel like I'm gonna like this more, actually. And the cover is very pretty. Bridgerton 2, The Viscount Who Loved Me, and Queen Charlotte. Both in the Bridgerton universe. Don't really have any interest in this, but this one I want to read because I saw clips of Queen Charlotte on TikTok and I really want to watch that. Never had any interest in watching Bridgerton, read the first Bridgerton book, wasn't impressed. But I want this story so bad, so I'm going to get to that eventually. Probably not this year. Sorry. Then I have these two by Tracy Rees. I don't know what they're called in English because I bought them in Norwegian before I started buying books really. So The Mystery Amy Snow and Something Blue. I don't know. I actually counted wrong. I forgot about the book, but I'm moving on to classics. I have Little Women. I really want to read this eventually. I think I'm going to read it in December. And then the complete collection of Sherlock Holmes. Very excited for this. I got this for Christmas last year. I love Sherlock Holmes. I love all of the TV movies that are made of this. And the first book, I read that in grade 11. And I liked that a lot. So I'm going to read the rest of them. And this is so pretty. That's most of the books on my bookshelf. I have some more. They're thrifted. I don't know why I bought them really, because I don't want to read them. So I'm just going to ignore them for now, move on to my book cart, and then if I don't have too much footage, I'll show the thrifted books. Yes. Okay, on to my book cart, starting with all of the romances. I think I got them all, so if not, that sucks. Anyways, let's start with the ones I'm the most excited for. And that is the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. I have Flawless, Heartless, Powerless, and Reckless. This is... I haven't read it, so I don't know, but this is what I've gotten from watching other people read it. It's like a small town country romance. I know in the first one, the male main character is a bull rider. And I think he gets in trouble with his agent, so his agent's daughter gets there to babysit him in a way. And I think there's a romance going on between them. One of them is a single dad, one of them is a hockey player. I don't know which one is which, but I'm very excited to read this. And I have to say that the covers of these books are so beautiful. The UK covers, not the American ones. I don't like those, but these are so pretty. And I'm so excited to get to the series. The next one is coming out pretty soon, so I want to get to these before that. Then I have a book by my queen, Ali Hazelwood, Love Theoretically, her latest release. Haven't read it yet, unfortunately, because I went on vacation. This is on my August TBR, so review of this soon. Most of her books are, well, all of the ones that are out right now are women in STEM. Usually both people are in STEM really, but the main character is always some kind of scientist. And I love it. They're very simple, easy, and I love them all. If you've seen my wrap-ups before, you've heard me talk about her books. Then another favorite author of mine, Lynn Painter. I have The Love Wager and Mr. Wrong Number. I think these are in a series together. Or like a standalone series, I think, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it, but I love her writing again. I think these... I've read like YA books from her. I think these might be not YA, but I might be wrong. So I'm excited to get to them. Again, earlier this year I discovered Lucy's Score and I fell in love with her writing, so I have By a Thread and Rock Bottom Girl, both these at Target and Barnes & Noble when I went to the US, which was very exciting because I can't find these books here. So I'm very excited to read more Lucy's Score books. Don't know what they're about. I think this is like a football romance. I'm pretty sure it is. Then I have something very exciting. I have the first 3 books in the Addicted series. So Addicted for Now, Addicted to You, and Ricochet. I'm very excited to read these as well. Don't know much about them. I think it's like a found family. It's like Addicted and Calloway sisters. And the couples... whatever, I don't know how to explain it because I haven't read it, but I've heard it's found family, most people love it, and I'm very excited to read them. And then I have another very popular author, Sarah Adams. I heard a lot about The Cheat Sheet and When in Rome, so I have bought both. So I need to get into her books soon. And then probably the most hyped, I guess, at the moment, The Summer I Turned Pretty. So I have The Summer I Turned Pretty, We'll Always Have Summer, and It's Not Summer Without You. now with season 2 of it out. Everyone's watching. I don't, because I don't have Prime. But I'm excited to read this. I am doing it this summer, I promise. My plan is to start reading them this week, because I really want to read them before summer is over. But this is about Belly, and there's a love triangle with Conrad and Jeremiah. That's all I know. I don't really want to read them. I'm not that interested, but I'm going to read them anyways. What have I not? This is a mess. I've heard a lot about Emily Henry as well. Most people have. Very popular books, beach read and book lovers. Everyone has read them. I haven't. It's time I do. I also bought Happy Place. Should I have bought it? No, because I had no idea if I even like her books. But I'm just gonna have to do it. Another series, the Twisted series. I've read the first one, but here I have Twisted Games, Twisted Hate, and Twisted Lies. Again, another series I'm not that interested in. I bought it after reading Twisted Love because I loved it at the time, but now thinking back at it, I'm not interested, but I'm going to read them. I've heard that the series get better, so... But I like the first book, I just don't feel like reading that anymore. I think my reading style and the kind of books I like have evolved a bit since then. But I'm gonna get to it eventually. I need to get my physical TBR down. Like, I'm going shopping with my mom tomorrow. And I'm definitely going to the bookstore because there's a sale going on right now. But I shouldn't buy any more books, I just really, really want to. I bought these a long time ago. It's The Spanish Love Deception and The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas. They were very hyped at the time. I don't see people talk about them anymore, probably because most people have read them. I'm planning on doing another reading viral TikTok books, so I'm probably gonna read that in that kind of video, because if I don't do that, I don't think I'm actually gonna get to them. Because these are books I bought just because everyone else was talking about them, and I don't want to miss out. I have very bad FOMO, so I need to know. Even though I'm not interested, I just need to know what everyone's talking about. So, I bought them. A long time ago. Am I gonna get to them? I don't know. Next up is another author that people like a lot. It's Lauren Asher. I have The Fine Print, the first book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. Don't know much about this. I think the main character's grandfather died and left them this theme park, and then there's some tasks they have to do in order to get their shares. I think that's it. I'm actually very excited about this one. I want to put that in a vlog sometime. Don't know when. And then, again, don't know if I like her writing, but I still did the stupid thing of buying other books. This is the Dirty Air series. I have Throttled, Collided, Wrecked, and Redeemed. This is like an F1 series. I'm very excited. I'm going to do a vlog on these soon. Probably, if I'm gonna guess, it will probably be in November. Yeah. Don't know more about it. F1 romance. Very excited. These books are very heavy. And the pages. I don't know if you haven't read these books, but like the pages are different than normal books. Don't know why. Don't know how, but they are. Now, some random books that I don't really know much about. Husband Material by Alexis Hall. I was being stupid and didn't check before I bought it, but this is the second book in a series, so I can't read it until I've read Boyfriend Material. If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. Don't know what it's about. I've heard it's sad, so I think it's a romance. I'm not completely sure, but I'm going to read that soon. My camera battery is flashing. With This Kiss by Carrie Hope Fletcher. I saw this in the bookstore, read the back of it, was obsessed. Don't remember what it's about, but I'm very excited to read it. We Are All Constellations by Amy Bechel, whatever. Only bought it because of the covers. I have no idea what it's about, but it's very beautiful. 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. Everyone's been talking about it. I haven't read it yet, so I'm gonna get to it eventually. A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. I want to do like the viral TikTok videos book again, so I'm gonna put that in there. Normal People by Sally Rooney. I don't think this is a romance, to be honest, but I didn't know where to put it, so I'm doing that in a video soon. I have a video planned for it. And then The Wish by Nicholas Sparks. Don't know what this is about either. So, I think that's all of the romances. I'm gonna have to charge my battery before I do the rest, so I'm just gonna stop before it cuts me off in the middle of a sentence. See you soon to go on fantasies and thrillers. I'm back. Camera's charged. It's a lot later. I made a cake with my mom. If the angle or the lighting is changed, it's obviously because I took my camera down and there's no longer any natural lighting. So I'm using my lamp. Hopefully it's good enough. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to move on. I forgot about a romance. I also have Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is like a fairy tale retelling, I think. This one is about Captain Hook. I think it is. So, this is the Never After series. I have the first book. I want to buy the rest of them, but I'm going to be smart and read this first and see if I like it. Now, the genres I have left is fantasy. I feel like that's the most books, and then there's some sci-fi, mystery, thrillers, and some historical fiction. And yeah, we're just gonna get into it. Let's start with fantasy. The first one is very popular. It's been hyped like ever since I discovered Book Talk, and it's still pretty famous, I guess. And that's The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I don't know what it's about. I never actually checked what it was about, but because everyone loved it, I bought it. So I'm going to read it soon, I just don't know when. Another very famous popular book is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I really want to read this, but everyone is saying that I should read ACOTAR first, so I'm going to do that. So I'm gonna have to put this on hold until I've finished ACOTAR. Next up we have a little series. Technically it's Caraval, and then I guess this is a spin-off series maybe. Once Upon a Broken Heart. Very excited for both of them, especially this one. Don't know what these are about either. These are by Stephanie Garber, and I know that a lot of people love them. I've seen so many vlogs of people reading them and just having so many positive things to say. Next up we have another author that I feel like people are talking about a lot, and that is V.E. Schwab. I have A Darker Shade of Magic and Gallant. I am excited for both of them. I think they're going to be read this year, at least one of them. I want to get more into these types of books, and I've heard that V.E. Schwab is a good author, so I'm very excited. This Woven Kingdom by the same author as the Shadow Me series, so it has to be good, hasn't it? The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. This is actually the second book in a series. I didn't realize that when I bought it. Even though I was checking, I was googling and using Goodreads and all of that to make sure it was the first book, but somehow I managed to pick up the wrong one. The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. The School for Good and Evil by Suman Sainani. A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I honestly don't know if I'm ever gonna get to this. I want to, but it's so big and I just don't feel like reading that. And then I have a boxed set of Narnia. The whole Chronicles of Narnia. It's The Magician's Nephew, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, The Horse and His Boy, Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, and The Last Battle. I'm very excited to do these, and I've wanted to do a reading vlog on them, so hopefully I get to do that. That's all of the fantasies. Let's go over to sci-fi. I don't know if all of these are sci-fi. I tried to Google it and it said sci-fi, so I'm just gonna trust that. 1985 by George Orwell. This is scary. I don't know if I'm actually gonna get to it. It's very intimidating. Like, I've seen so many mixed opinions on it, and like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, so I'm scared to read it. Dune. Obviously this was very hyped up when the movie came out, so that's how I like came to know about it. That's why I bought it. I haven't seen the movie. I don't know. I'm scared. This is also very intimidating because I've heard so many bad things about it. The Hunger Games trilogy, The Hunger Games Catching Fire, and The Hunger Games Mockingjay. Reading vlog is coming on this. I'm so excited for it. Then Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I have the Star Wars trilogy, Revenge of the Sith, The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, Brotherhood. Now it's on to mystery. I actually really like the mystery genre because I like the simpleness of it, you know, when it's not as scary as a thriller, but you just get like the excitement and the adrenaline while also being able to think about everything and figure it out. I don't know if Where the Crawdads Sing fit that description, but I've heard it's a mystery and I have no idea what this is. I bought it because I wanted to do like a reading the book and watching the movie, but I just never got to actually do it. The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman. I read the first book in this series, The Thursday Murder Club, and I really liked it, so I'm excited to get to this. I never pick it up. I don't know why. Nothing More to Tell by Karen Ann McManus. I really love her writing, and I've given 5 stars to 2 of her books, 3 stars to 1 of her books, so I'm excited to see how this is. The last 2 books in the Inheritance Game series, The Hawthorne Legacy and The Final Gambit. I loved the first book, so I don't know why I haven't read these yet. Like, I really need to get to that. So it's happening soon. I know that for sure. Over to thrillers. I don't have that many thrillers because I'm very new to the thriller genre. I think I've read 1 thriller, so I don't really know a lot about this, but I've bought some because I'm interested, and I'm going to like slowly get more into a broader, whatever, more genres. The Silent Patient by Alex something. We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. If We Were Villains by ML Rio. The Midnight Game by Cynthia Murphy. The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. Our House by Louise Candlish. Jakten på Thunder. This is a Norwegian thriller. Originally my mom bought this, but then she found out that it was like real. It's like, it's not fiction, it's a real thing written like it's fiction, I think. That's what my mom said. So she didn't want to read it anymore when she found out it was real. So it's more of like a documentary kind of, I don't know. Yeah, it's a real story. I don't know, I'm a little confused, but I want to read it. Frosten by Henning Mankell. This is about, like, when I bought it I thought it was about Wallander, which is a Swedish book and a TV show. It's also a British remake of the TV show. Love both of them. But this is about his daughter, I think. So I don't know, I'm not as excited anymore, but I'm going to get to it eventually. Rogue Lawyer by John Grisham. I have tried to read this like 7 times and I can never get past the first chapter. I don't know why. I'm giving it an 8th chance at some point. Not for me right now. I've had it for like 5 years too. Like, I don't know if it's been 5. It's been a long time. Elle Melle by MJ Arledge. This is in Norwegian. I don't know what it's called in English because I didn't realize that I wanted it in English. But like now I only read English, so I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to it. But I think my mom liked it. Then I have some historical fiction. I have Hitler's Secret by Roy Clements. I was very excited about this, but I actually think it's number 5 in a series. So that's a little bit disappointing. V2 by Robert Harris. So excited for this. I really like the history and the war part of fiction, and this looks really good. The Kindler Ones by Jonathan Little. I don't want to read this anymore, so I don't know why I still have it. I should get rid of it because I'm never going to read it. Then I have like a fiction book. I don't know what it is. En man med namn Ove. A man called Ove. Never read it. I watched the movie, the Swedish one, not the American remake where they changed his name for some stupid reason. So I'm excited to read this eventually. I don't know when. Soon. Maybe. And then I guess this is a self-help book. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. I bought this so long ago. And I don't think self-help books are for me. So I don't know if I'm ever going to actually get to this. But like, I don't know. I have it, so I could read it if I wanted to. But that was all of it. Now I'm just gonna have to put it back on my book card. Maybe I'll show you the thrifted books that are in my bookshelf. I'm just gonna put this away and then we'll see. Okay, these last ones are pretty boring, so I'm just gonna read them off to you. They're in my shelf, and like, I don't know how to get low enough for you to see them. So I'm just gonna read the ones. I have Courtney's War by Wilbur Smith, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades Darker by E.L. James, L. James, whatever, and The Darker by E.L. James. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green and The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I don't know, I can't read that. And then I have like 9 Star Trek books. But that's it. Okay, I'm back. I actually went shopping yesterday and bought 7 more books. So I'm just gonna add that into the video because I haven't edited yet. So I think I filmed this video on Sunday. No, on Monday, and then I went shopping on Tuesday, and then today's Wednesday. So let's just show these as well. So every genre is getting mixed up here. I have Priest by Sierra Simone. Don't know much about it, but it seemed interesting and I've heard a lot of people talk about it. The Last Dragon King by Leah Stone. Never heard of it, never seen it, not the author, not the book. But I really liked the cover, so I bought it. And it also looked interesting. I don't really know. Something about the Dragon King wanting a wife and then people are applying to be his wife, and this person who doesn't have enough magic in her, so she's like so sure she's not going to get picked, and then her mom tells her a secret and it's drama. Scarred by Emily McIntyre. This is the 2nd book in the Never After series. Like I said about Hooked, I think this is like a fairy tale retelling. And then this is about the Lion King, so it's gonna be interesting. I got Days at the Morisaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagasawa. I don't know anything about this book, but the cover is so pretty, so I just wanted it. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I need every single Harry Potter book there is, and I have most of them, but I didn't have this one. Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Again, I'm filling out my Harry Potter collection. So this is the original screenplay, and the cover is so pretty. I love this color, and I love everything about it. And the texture of this is just so different, and I love it. It's very cute. It's like the script for... it's the screenplay, basically. And our last book is Star Wars Resistance Reborn by Rebecca Rowan Horse. With my baby, Oscar Isaac, Poe Dameron. Love this man. Love everything. I'm gonna read this soon. But that is, in fact, every book I own. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I want to show you one more thing before we go. I got my poster. Love on Tour poster. Love it. That's it. Peace out, lovers.